And speaking of which, more than 100 million Americans are expected to watch the Super Bowl, and many are expected to take the following Monday off. Now, according to Challenger, Gray, and Christmas, absences and a loss of productivity on the day after the big game could cost companies over $2.5 billion. And if employees even show up to work 1 hour later or spend an hour discussing the game, that's an estimated extra $1.7 billion loss. So, guys, what do you think? Will you be at work, Michelle, Monday?
I will be at work. I'm one of those people, though, I'm going to get Kevin really angry that I just watch the Super Bowl for the commercials and the halftime performance. So I can be the person that scans. I know that's breaking his heart. But if that's I'm more about taking the day for the Grammys. That's kind of my day.
Okay,
But you go get red carpet ready or something?
Yeah, but I do wish, I will say that employers would just give somebody an hour and throw a reasonable amount of time at work where people can just talk about it and get back to work. But
we kind of take that time anyway.
It's insane to take a day for that, though.
Do you see the look on Kevin's face?
I know.
He is soaking all of this in.
I couldn't even look at him when I said it.
He's taking it very seriously.
Well, of course I'm watching the Super Bowl. I know some of the refs in the game probably won't be watching it.
Whoa, wait a minute.
Whoa, that snap.
Throwback.
And I know
the
there's a contingent of Saints fans in Memphis that aren't watching.
I don't blame them.
They're having this watch party at Laughlin Yard, one of my favorite spots in town, where they're not showing the Super Bowl, but they're showing the Super Bowl that the Saints won from a few years ago.
That's
so
funny.
Saints fans who are boycotting the game because of the controversy.
Not a lot of mystery there in that game, though.
That's funny. Yeah, but they'll love the ending, right?
But I like this topic because I've been an advocate for many years of let's get the day after Super Bowl to be a holiday.
Oh,
and
please.
No, Mary Beth, you do not have to change it. You don't have to make it a new holiday. You just got to move President's Day up.
Oh.
All you got to do. President's Day is going to be here in 2 weeks.
We're in the media. When was the last time you knew anybody who's a real person who had President's Day off? Really?
That's true.
Is it a federal holiday?
Maybe
You do?
Michelle does.
I do.
That's it.
Well, there you go.
That's it. So, Todd, the next day, should we have it off or not?
Well,
or will you be at
I
work?
don't think you should have that day off, and I would like to think that most people are going to be respectful of their job. Now, here's the key. I usually fall asleep around 4:30, 5 o'clock in the afternoon, so I really don't have that problem whatsoever. I wake up and go, Surrey, who won the game? And that's it. But if it's recorded, that's all we got going on right there.
You're asleep before the anthem.
I know.
I forget it's on every year, so sorry.
I'll call you. Say, I'm going to bed, but you can watch the game.
All right, trapped for 3 days. New York police say a 53-year-old woman sat stuck in an elevator of a Manhattan townhouse for all that time, according to emergency officials. The woman got trapped Friday afternoon between the second and third floors after an apparent malfunction in the elevator, and she was not rescued until Monday morning. So, can you imagine that happening to you? What would you do for 3 days in an elevator, Kevin?
Ooh, that is tough. She's
And let's pretend you don't have Wi-Fi.
you don't have what? Well, my first thought is get on FaceTime, call my dad, and then it'll alert lots of people, right? So everybody will get some notification. He's in
that Apple bug these days, it'll do it.
The bug in the FaceTime bug.
See, that could come in handy.
Remind me to never go to the Bass Pro Pyramid with this woman because I do not want to be stuck in that elevator.
That's a big one, isn't it? I can't imagine somebody not having a phone with them in order to call or do something. But if I didn't, and I was in that situation, I would yell and scream until I lost my voice, and then I'd probably have to just kind of go sit back and hope I had some anxiety medication because claustrophobia would probably start to set in.
I wonder how many hours it would take. I'm kind of an introvert, so I might be happy for a while.
That's right.
So, you would really enjoy it?
Well, I'm just thinking, like an extroverted person would really be climbing the walls, but an introvert might be like, oh, this is so quiet.
Let me just go ahead and decide what's going to happen for the rest of the year.
But you do gotta wonder where her phone was, and also I know this is sad, but I think about where are all the people that love and care about her. You better bet if I'm stuck in an elevator, my husband's calling the National Guard.
So.
I hope somebody's coming to get me. Yeah. But the first thought I had was, man, I would play a game of who would I like to be trapped in this elevator with.
And why wasn't there a phone in that elevator? I thought that was law. You had to have a phone in the elevator.
The emergency button.
Yeah, make some sound.
Well, it's just a Manhattan townhouse. So who would be number one on your list to be stuck with? Don't say your husband.
She didn't say not stuck with because I have an answer for that. But, Chris Pratt. I think he would be so much fun to be trapped in an
Catherine
elevator
Schwarzenegger ain't too happy to do that.
This is the group right here.
Yeah, that's it. All right.
Suck up.
I'm going with Drew Barrymore, but okay.
Now, this question for you. Have you ever been so happy with a meal you just had to tell somebody about it? That's what happened in London recently. If you would, take a listen.
Who made this chicken? Who made it? Why? Who made it? Why? Because I love it!
That happens to me every time I go over to Mary Beth's house. Who made this chicken? By the way, this dish surprised the kitchen staff and fellow customers with that outburst. The good news is he liked it. I'd hate to see what would have happened if he did not enjoy that chicken. So, guys, have you ever been that excited about a meal before? Todd, let's start with you.
I have been, but I didn't shout it to the rooftops. I said, can you tell me who cooked this? And I'm going to go back there and say thank you in person. I even say thank you at fast food restaurants. Thank you, you know, because these guys are back here working so hard.
Even though a lot of them don't say thank you back.
Well, that's okay. They're busy working over there, but I just want to let them know that I appreciate them and their time. But that is interesting. I think we're going to see more of that in the future.
Yeah.
Because it'll go viral.
The new viral video trend.
What do you? Have you ever had that kind of a meal that was so good?
I have one time, and I just want to say that that man is my soulmate because I've had that inward thought, and the fact that he was able to do it openly, more power to him. But I do remember one time I've done it was here. It was at Andrew Michael Kitchen. I called the general manager over because I'm a big fan of duck, and to this day, it is the best duck I have ever had, and I had to tell somebody
that's
that this
awesome
was
that
the
you
best
took the
duck.
time, though,
No, I
to
did.
say
I told the general manager, please tell whoever cooked this duck that this is the best duck I've ever had. I don't know if he passed the message along, but it was here.
All right, Kevin, what about it?
Recently, I just had some Tyson chicken nuggets that were so good. It was so good.
Were they a little chewy? Did it have any rubber in there or something?
They weren't the ones with the plastic bits that have been recalled.
They just
right?
called a bunch of those.
Did you hear that story?
Oh, no. Oh, no.
So
You
he's
took
fine.
the fun out of it, Mary Beth.
Sorry.
Oh, no.
Are you
Kevin
feeling
was
okay?
savoring those moments, those
We
memories.
might have an ER trip.
Screaming for a different reason very
He
soon.
bought them for his Super Bowl party.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah
you can't
that's
serve
his
'em.
spread for the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
That will do
What
it.
kind of dipping sauce did you use, though?
Oh, always like the Chick-fil-A, the house sauce. You always got to get the house sauce from
Got it.
any restaurant. I
There you
stock up on those in the pantry.
You're such a millennial.
Thank you guys
We'll be
very
right
much.
back.
You had to get that in.